from Mount Zion, and then we were at a center with a church that had 29 people from Florida. I served in a home where they recommend you use words like replace and repair. So we replaced, so we had to tear down first walls and ceiling, and it was extraordinarily unhealthy what this family had been living with in this home. And the floor, I actually got felt motion sick in the room, because anytime somebody would walk, the whole floor felt like it was waving. And so midday one day I said, I'm really nauseated, and everybody was like, well, you're standing on a floor. And it occurred to me that the floor was moving all day. And we took out, and it was really unhealthy what came out of the walls. We had an 11-year-old that was the grandson of the homeowner, and he walked into the room and he helped us every step of the way. If there is a testimony to God's goodness out of that week, it is this young man, Skylar. Was so excited to help and excited to learn, and by the end of the week, he was offering to pray for lunch and to start our day off, and really wonderful young man. But after we cleaned everything out, before we'd even repaired anything, he walked into the room and said, it already smells and feels better in here. And so for an 11-year-old to recognize that, I think says something about the condition in which they were living. So we repaired the home, we left the room almost finished. There was a week, the week following us, there was a group that was going to come in and finish the floor, so it would no longer wave, and finish up the wall work and the ceiling work that was being done. I am very proud of the kids that I taught, the compassion and the love that they show and that they learned. We had a bunch of first-timers who just had an opportunity to really share the love of Jesus. And that's really what we're there for. We're absolutely there to help make the homes warmer, safer, and drier, and that's the mission for Appalachia Service Project. But it's so much bigger than that, what the love that we're sharing. And the kids sat, I had two on my team that are musicians, and so one day the young lady took her ukulele and the young man took his guitar and sat with the homeowner and played music and prayed at various times and made conversation, and you really get to know these families. And so when you go to leave on Friday, knowing that you've spent a week getting really close with these people and being intimately in their space and their lives, and people you're never going to see again, they're just the love that's shared. The homeowner, we were sweaty and gross and covered in dirt, and she embraced each and every one of us and said, I love you and thank you. And so it's really just an amazing experience. The area that we served is mostly national forest, so most of it is owned by the federal government. A third of the population is in a situation of poverty. And if you look up Appalachia Service Project online, you see the conditions in which people are living, and it's very different from even urban poverty that we see more locally. And some of these people don't have water or electricity, or the water they're getting from the stream that they think is clean water, a house a mile up the road is dumping their water, dumping into that same water, and so they don't always have clean water and heat, and the homes are collapsing, but there's nothing else. I mean, these are their homes and the places they've built and loved, and their families have built and loved. So I just wanted to share with you that I'm so thankful for your prayers while I was gone and God's provision. We did have some challenges that we met, but the youth in particular rose above. We had a couple of people who had recent loss, my father-in-law being one of them. My mother-in-law and grandmother, Ricky's grandmother, have attended here several times. My father-in-law's son took his own life last August, and John went with us on the mission trip and was able to have a real experience. He did the morning devotion at the center one day, and you could see a weight lifted off of him. It was an opportunity for him to really let go and to work with youth, and so that brings healing. And we had others who were grieving, and youth who were yeah, I have one youth who is completing high school a year early and comes from a really difficult background in childhood, and suddenly the fear of what was coming to her, and all the change in her life of graduating earlier and having so much opportunity, came to her. And so we had a lot going on emotionally with our group also. But I know that your prayers carried through and God was glorified in this trip, and so I'm excited to be back with you all today, but wanted to just share a little that I was working hard and I was dirty and it was hot, although it was not as hot in Kentucky as it was here, and I thank God for that too. So thank you. I didn't want to take too much time, but thought you should all know what was going on in other ministry outside of here. Thank you.